If it feels like everything around us is engineered to give us a tiny jolt of from bottomless social feeds to super flavored snacks, you're not imagining it. We've gotten really good at making pleasure abundant and instant. Ironically, that abundance is leaving many of us more anxious, less happy, and in more pain than before. In today's episode, we will start looking into the book called Dopamine Nation by Lembke, MD, and basically why the pursuit of feeling good so often makes us actually feel worse. So dopamine is a key messenger in the brain's reward pathways. So it's not the only chemical involved in pleasure, but it's central in motivating us to seek rewards, wanting as opposed to just liking something. And the more quickly and intensely something spikes dopamine in that pathway, the more addictive it tends to be. So basically, here's the model to remember. So pleasure and pain share circuitry and operate kind of like a balance. So you tip more towards pleasure, say from like delicious food or winning a game or a viral clip, and the brain reflexively pushes back to level things out. If we keep hammering the pleasure side, the system overcorrects, our baseline shifts, we feel less from the same hit, and we experience more pain in the aftermath. That's tolerance basically building up and the come down in a nutshell. So the heart of the problem, in a world transformed from scarcity to overwhelming abundance, our ancient reward machinery, perfect for survival in lean times, gets overrun. We chase micro pleasures and numb discomfort only to become more sensitive to pain and less satisfied over time. So let's quantify that more addictive point. So in classic lab studies, the baseline dopamine in a rat's reward pathway jumps from about 50% with chocolate, jumps 100% with sex, 150% with nicotine, 225% with cocaine, and roughly 1,000% with amphetamines. So intensity and speed matter. Faster spikes mean higher addictive potential. Now, the baseline metaphor, or the balance metaphor, imagine little kind of like homeostasis gremlins almost, hopping on the pain side of the balance, or like a seesaw, every time we push up, or push pleasure up. They're not moral judges, they're basically kind of like physics for your mood, if that makes sense. So restoring equilibrium with an equal and opposite after effect. Repeat the stimulus and those gremlins get bigger and faster. So we need more of the same thing to feel less and crash harder afterwards. It's called neuroadaptation and tolerance. So zoom out to society as a whole. Despite unprecedented wealth, freedom, and medical advances, self-reported happiness in the United States declined between 2008 and 2018. Richer countries carry higher rates of generalized anxiety than poorer ones, and new cases of depression have surged, especially in high-income regions like North America. Physical pain complaints are up too. Americans report bodily pain more often than people in many other countries. So what changed? Access and potency. So we optimized food with sugar, salt, fat, and flavorings to keep us coming back. And we've digitized drugs that used to be scarce, like pornography, gambling, and gaming, boosting both availability and intensity. Even the platforms themselves are designed to be sticky, with bright cues, infinite scrolling, and variable rewards. So in Lembke's clinic, this plays out as real suffering. So people stuck in cycles where more pleasure yields less joy and more pain. Brain imaging of people with addiction shows a dopamine deficit state. Basically, reward circuits go quiet so that nothing feels good anymore, even after stopping for weeks. And it's basically abstinence is basically the way to reset that kind of pain balance. So finally, a reality check. So the balance is a metaphor. Individuals vary, and pleasure and pain can coexist, for example, like spicy food. And some people start life tipped towards pain due to mood or pain disorders. Still, the metaphor is a powerful lens for understanding why our all-you-can-eat dopamine buffet leaves us hungrier. So for conclusions, the problem is not that pleasure is bad. It's that our brains are calibrated for a world of less, and they adapt to more by shrinking our capacity to enjoy and enlarging our vulnerability to pain. If we want to feel better, the answer isn't to chase bigger hits, it's to understand the pleasure-pain balance and work with it rather than against it. And I also did a kind of more extensive book review on this one specifically. I'll link it or put it as a card for the YouTube video and so on. So you guys can find it. I think it was like basically 45 minutes of me going into more specifics on pretty much everything in the book, more or less. And I'll also highly recommend you reading the book itself. It's not that long, relatively, and it's also got big words, kind of, about 200 pages or so. But with that being said, I'd love to hear what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next one.